Alright, before we get started on this, I do just want to throw out a little message. I just got done recording and editing everything down. It's midnight 43. But Rutherford, I'm going to say some harsh things about him, but of all the people ever caught on the show, I do believe that morally he is one of the better individuals by just how much he was able to turn his life around. He has changed, he has improved, which at the end of the day, yes, we do like to clown on these people, but it's also important to understand that the whole point of life is to better improve yourself, is to fix yourself. And to our knowledge, and to his credit, James has fully done that. So just keep that in mind. This was a man 20 years ago, and today, to my knowledge, he's a completely different and completely better person.
Alright, and next on, we got James Rutherford, who was caught in the Greenville, Ohio sting, which is where the legendary Jeff Stacy was caught. Now, unlike Stacy, Rutherford arrives at night and sees this beautiful fucking house. Like, look how big this is, dude. 3-car garage, brick wraparound driveway, maybe? Unsure, but huge fucking house. And he's pulling up in a pretty nice looking red C5 Corvette. Which, hey, if James Rutherford was on at my door and wanted to molest me for a red C5 Corvette, I'd allow it. But this is the uncut interview, not interview, time with Chris, because I figured why not. Thank you to Joey for uploading this. I wonder who this guy is. Never heard of him. Anyways, let's get to it.
Right now, because he sees me. Come on in. Okay.
I like how you can hear the decoy run away. But I believe, when we go over a little bit about him later, I believe he was trying to get the decoy to come out to his car. So he was quite a bit like Buchanan, or that one guy from Murphy, Texas. So, already. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. He worked in a school. It was a Catholic school? It was a Catholic school or a Christian school. I think Catholic, though. This guy was a teacher at a Catholic school, dude. Are you serious, man? Another teacher? And it's atrocious that he's here. And how can a teacher at a Catholic school afford a red C5 Corvette? This was like '06. So the C5 stopped being made in like '04. So there were no new cars for like 1 or 2 years. So he could have gotten this used. But at the same time, like, are you embezzling funds from this school? Anyways, let's move on. That house is fucking insane. Is that the back door? Yeah, that must be the back door.
Come on in. The door's open.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm just gonna go finish getting ready. I'll be right there.
Where are you?
I'll be right back. Just sit at the bar and I'll be right there.
All right, well, I'll be out here.
You can tell he's creeped out. You like the situation is weird. I've mentioned this before, but just a voice from inside the house, "Hey, come on in." Like, in a horror movie, that's what you run away from. Like, the smart thing to do is to never show up here, never have the conversation. But the smart thing to do is when you hear, a woman's voice from inside the house, "Hey, come on in, the door's open." That's a mermaid siren right there, or just a siren's call, or whatever it is. I mean, you deserve it, but at the same time, this is like the first guy to actually be like, kind of weirded out by that.
Just take a seat.
Come here.
No, I promise I'll be right back.
No, come here.
I'll be right there.
Come
Just
here.
wait. Try to be a little patient.
Actually, I want you to come here.
That's what I thought.
Would you have a seat right over there, please? Okay.
That's what he was so hesitant to go inside for the decoy because he thought it was a decoy. But then the second Chris shows up, you don't just leave. Chris isn't a cop. And I know James doesn't exactly know that. But Chris gives no indication that he's law enforcement. I know people argue that, like, oh, he pretends to be a cop and all that. No, he does. He's just wearing a suit and just telling someone to take a squat right there. I don't. But he just came right in when Chris showed up. He didn't even close the door behind him all the way, it looks like. Bit of a dick move, dude.
What are you doing here?
I just came to hang out, really.
You came to hang out.
Yeah.
And you came to hang out with who?
I had a feeling this was what was going on, honestly.
You had a feeling what was going on?
That this was some sort of setup.
A setup.
Why would it need to be a setup if you're just going to hang out? Like, and why did you have to hang out with, a group or an age group that stings take place for? Why did he want... Like, you're going to call out to the decoy, I'll be outside, come outside, and then, oh, we're just going to hang out. Hang out where? Out of the decoy's house, away from where they're supposed to be. So they're alone, fully in your control. Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
A setup for what?
I don't know, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't come here for anything physical. I just was bored. I'm going through a divorce.
Okay. I didn't come here for anything physical. When we go over his chat log later, if that chat log's even out there, let me check if I have it. Okay, so I just checked. I do have his chat log. It's 35 pages. And I scrolled through just to see how long it was, just scroll all the way to the bottom. And I saw one line that was, we can play strip or dare. So... my guy, dude. What are you doing? And anytime, this isn't even just TCAP, but anytime you're like with someone or you're doing something and they're like, dude, to be honest, man, I wasn't even going to do this thing. It's like, yes, you were. Like, I'm not stupid, man. Like, what's the plan when be like, oh, to be honest, I wasn't going to do anything? And you think the people here are going to be like, I believe you. I'll let you go. And you say you're going through a divorce. Okay. Get an escort. Get a prostitute. All right? You just drive around whatever city you live in. And at night, you're a white dude that's balding in a Corvette. Okay? They'll come right up to you, dude. All right? It's not that difficult to just go hire one. It's illegal, yes. But it's certainly less illegal than what you're doing here. Fucking buffoon.
I just wanted to get out of the house, honestly.
So you couldn't go to a sports bar to watch a game, or you
I've been
couldn't go
doing
to
that
a
all
gal's
weekend,
house?
man.
And so you thought you'd come here to this house?
I've been going to sports bars all weekend, so I figured I'll spice it up and go to a child's house. Like, I was getting bored of going to the sports bar, so me and my buddies went skydiving or bungee jumping. There are steps, my guy. Steps.
I knew it wasn't a good idea from the get-go.
Who did you think you were going to meet here?
Just this kid I've been talking to.
This kid.
I know she's a kid.
I think that's one of the few times, I think, ever in the history of TCAP and HVP and all that, where the guy flat out doesn't even try to say, like, oh, I forgot how old they were, or, they were 18, they were 19, or they were, like, older than they actually said they were and shit like that. He just says kid. That might be, like, one of the more honest responses out there. And he's also very casual about this, because I'm wondering if he didn't know that the cops were involved with this yet. Even though he kind of bitched right down to Chris. So, I don't know.
How old?
13, 14.
13. And how old are you?
Too old for a 13, 14-year-old.
Too old. And how old is that?
26.
26.
26. God damn. He's a teacher at 26 and he owns a relatively nice looking Corvette. And also, he's 26. Jesus Christ. One, double the age of the decoy. So, already, an issue. But also, you don't look 26. Like, I know he's starting to bald, but I would honestly say, at this time period, Chris looks younger than himself.
And you thought it was okay to come over here to visit a 13-year-old girl home alone?
No, I really didn't.
But you're here.
I know. I don't know why.
Dude, you don't know why? What conversation did you have earlier? This isn't, a spur of the moment just showing up to the house. There were like 30 pages of chat to get here. Okay? And you're going to sit and be like, oh, it just happened. Like, no, the fuck it didn't, dude. Shut the fuck up.
What's your name?
Bum.
My name's Jim.
Jim what?
That's what I have to say.
I'm going to find out.
Am I going to get arrested for this?
That's not up to me.
Are you going to turn me in?
Again, that's not up to me.
I mean,
I do love when Chris is like, when the guy asks, are there cops here? You'll find out later. Or am I getting arrested? That's not up to me. 'Cause it's very funny in a in a way. I don't know much.
Fuck.
What do you do for a living, Jim?
That mumbled the fuck.
Say.
Jim,
I'd rather not say.
why don't you just tell me where you work?
Wonder why he doesn't want to mention what he does for a living. I wonder if there's any similarity between his 9 to 5 and what he's doing here. I wonder if there's like a certain, group or children. I wonder if there's like a certain group of small individuals that are related. I don't know.
Who do you work for?
I'll get to that in a minute.
No, I'd really like to know. I'm sure I'm on TV or something right now.
Why don't you just tell me what you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. And what grade do you teach?
6th grade.
6th grade.
6th
So
grade.
you teach kids about the same age as the girl you were coming to see.
I would never do anything.
Every guy, not every guy, some guys own up to it, but James is just here, being huffy puffy about how I was never gonna do it. Well, you showed up, which is a big part of doing it. Like, you're just gonna walk in the house, hang out at this inconspicuously set up bar with a 13-year-old in this beautiful fucking house, dude. Look at like this vanity here. This table's in a weird spot. Well, this is a beautiful house. And you think that child wants to hang out with you?
No, I'm here.
Dumbass.
Can I go?
No, not just yet.
Are the police here?
Again,
Sir, please just tell me.
I have some more questions for you. There's nothing I can do to keep you here, but I have some more questions for you.
Are the police here?
Dude literally just said, there's nothing I can do to keep you here. That is your cue to run. You left the door cracked open, man. You can go. Chris literally just told you he can't keep you here. But you stayed willingly.
I have to talk to you about some of the things.
For
that you
30
said.
more minutes.
Okay.
You were on your webcam, showing off in front of this 13-year-old girl. I have to talk to you about some of the things that you said on the internet.
Okay.
You were on your webcam, showing off in front of this 13-year-old girl.
My guy, you're gonna say I wasn't gonna do anything after you know that you were on sending pics and stuff. Why do you think anyone's gonna fall for that? Anyone important? Anyone reasonable? I've never understood that. It's such a childish argument. Because I remember being younger and just doing some stupid shit and my parents being like, "Hey, you're not going to do that, right?" Yeah, correct. Like, I'm not going to do it.
And the conversation you had with this
It
girl.
was bad. I know. I don't know why. I need help.
You're cute too. Definitely have a pretty face. For jailbait.
I knew it was.
My guy. I know my chat log wasn't good. You called him the child jailbait. Now, jailbait as a term, I think, is pretty fucking stupid. Because it's not jailbait. You aren't being baited into jail. You are on your own volition acting in accordance with what you consider jailbait. The decoy isn't jailbait. You're just a dumbass and a predator. But there was no better time for Chris to just, you called her jailbait. Like, oh, okay. Dumbass.
It was wrong. I knew it was wrong.
But you still did it. Like, you have to make a conscious decision to violate your morals, violate the safety of the child. All for what? Your own personal 8 minutes of glory? 8 minutes is respectable, okay? 8 minutes is respectable.
I could be your teacher. Would you flirt with me? She says wink at you and stuff. Hee hee, okay. Cute. You'd like that. I'd be flattered. Not like that's a bad thing. Innocent enough.
I knew I shouldn't have come. I knew I shouldn't have come.
Notice how he says he shouldn't have come. He's completely okay with how he's had the chat log, with how he spoke to who he believed was a minor. He doesn't feel bad about just the chat, which in and of itself it's crime and horrible. But you shouldn't have shown up. You shouldn't have messaged the decoy. Or message the decoy, ask how old they are, and when they tell you they're 13, you say, oh, gotta go. You gotta get out of there. You gotta do the right thing. Jesus, people don't learn.
I'm sorry, man. I knew it.
What school do you teach at, Jim?
I'm not going to tell you. You're going to find out. I'm going to get arrested, I'm sure.
How about St. Margaret of York?
That's it.
Is that right?
Damn.
Do you coach?
Damn, Chris was a bit like a mafia boss there. What school do you work at? I don't want to tell you. How about St. Margaret of York? He got your ass, man. And you're just going to sit there and give this guy content.
Coach too?
Not anymore, apparently.
He was also a coach there.
You say, I guess I'd like to kiss you. You say, I guess I'd kiss you too then.
Look, dude, I know what I said. I shouldn't have said it. My life
Correct.
just ended completely.
Not really.
Why did you do it?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I have
You're
no
grown
damn
up.
clue. This was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Okay, but then why did you do it? You can do something stupid. You can do something really fucking stupid, but there's still a reason to why you did it. The excuse isn't I'm stupid. That's a rationale for it, but it's not an excuse. Dick.
Just end it, man. This is...
Where are you most ticklish? All over. Oh my
Look,
God.
dude,
Ah,
I don't
nice.
care. I know what I said. You don't need it for your
You
TV
don't care?
audience. I know that. No. All right, let me phrase that.
Please
I
sit
do.
down.
No.
I'd like you to sit down, please.
I know you would. I'll tell you. I mean, I know what I said. I
It
don't
gets
care.
a lot worse than
Yeah,
this.
I know, and I don't want to get into that. If I'm going to be arrested, just please have me arrested.
Dude, just walk. Start walking. You stood up kind of in an aggressive manner to Chris. Let me tell you what, or whatever the fuck he said. Or, actually, I didn't even fucking hear it.
End it, man. This is...
Where are you most ticklish? All over. Oh my
Look,
God.
dude,
Ah,
I don't
nice.
care. I know what I said. You don't need it for your
You
TV
don't care?
audience. I know that. No. All right, let me phrase that.
Please
I
sit
do.
down.
No.
I'd like to.
Let me rephrase that? In what way could you rephrase that to make it okay? You aren't... There's no time that's really okay to say from a stranger. And he keeps telling Chris, like, just send in the cops. Like, you're not in charge here, dude. You are very much on the back foot. And you're going to sit here and bitch and moan about how he just needs to send in the cops when you know you can just walk out. Chris told you that. Dumbass.
I know you would. I know what I said.
It gets a lot worse than that.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to get into that. If I'm going to be arrested, just please
You
have
wanted
me
to get
arrested.
into someone.
I need help, obviously.
Do you do this often?
No, this is the first time I've ever done
This is
something.
the first time. You know, because I've heard that a lot.
And, like, that wasn't unprompted. This is the first time I've ever done this. And usually when people say that, they are lying. You know, and I'm pretty sure Rutherford later admitted to doing it multiple times? Let me double check on that. Alright, so I'm checking the wiki for this just because it's the quickest way to do it. And while I'm not seeing that he has actually admitted to doing it before, after he got fired from school, the mother of a female pupil called the sheriff's office to thank them for arresting Rutherford, claiming that he had groomed her daughter while he was still working in education. As far as I know, nothing ever came of that. So I don't really want to hold that to him because it seems rather unsubstantiated. But I don't know.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure I'm
It
probably not the
seems
first
like
guy to do this.
everybody who comes into this house says it's their first time.
I'm sure they do.
So, what were you going to do with this 13-year-old girl?
I wasn't really going to. I called her earlier and said I'm not really comfortable with this. I didn't, and she kept saying, "Come on, I'll just hang out."
Dude, how good? This is an excuse that is used often. How good are the decoys' negotiation tactics where they are able to, entice you to the house? Are they what, Henry Kissinger? Negotiating an end to the Vietnam War? No, it's a 13-year-old, or you believe to be a 13-year-old. You're like, man, this guy's really good. Fuck, I gotta go down to this house now. I wasn't gonna go, not because I know it's wrong, but because I don't want to get in trouble. So let me just not. How? I don't know if I'm just like, aware of when people are trying to like. I don't want to use the word manipulate because that isn't what the decoy did. But I think, how good is the decoy? Get this decoy in fucking hostage situations, man. Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure this decoy could end the Russia-Ukraine war if they're able to get you down here like this. God damn.
I didn't want to do anything.
But you did get in the
I
car
don't
and
know
drive
why.
here from
The whole
Cincinnati.
damn way, I was thinking, what am I doing? Why am I just not going home?
But still, you
know,
drove here.
I don't know
You knocked on the
why.
door and you walked in.
You still showed up. The allure, like the scent of an apple pie on a windowsill, lured you here. You got off your feet all the way from Cincinnati and floated here because you knew, or you thought you knew, that an unaccompanied 13-year-old was on her own after that chat. You were fleeced, dude, by yourself because you're stupid.
I know, I didn't want to.
And you're all anxious, wanting to see the girl.
But she just said, I'm just going to watch a movie. And I said, well, what the hell? I'll sit there and watch a movie with her.
Want to make out.
Look,
Sure.
dude, I'm sure the police are probably here.
Dude, the decoy said she's going to watch a movie. Okay. You can go rent a movie. Blockbuster was still around at this time, I think. So you can go rent a movie from Blockbuster and, go hire a prostitute for, I don't know, you can get a cheap one for maybe like $75 an hour. I don't know how much they cost. And then say, hey, I want to watch a movie, but, I'm going through a divorce because I'm a fucking dweeb. So, hire the prostitute to watch the movie with you, dude. Literally anything but what you're doing now.
I'm going to go.
Right now, I totally do it.
You want to know why I was doing all that? honestly.
Yeah.
I am going through a divorce. My wife Thursday told me she was leaving me. I don't know what spawned this. I mean, I was just in an Ohio chat room, an adult chat room, and this was a week or so ago, and she started talking to me.
You started talking to her. In the chat log, the chat room that is an Ohio chat room or whatever it was, it's not a legally binding age. I don't think you had to submit an ID. I don't think that was a thing really at this time. Was like proper age verification. You can say however old you are, but then when you're actually talking to the person and they say they're a minor, you should be like, oh, you gotta go. Dude's a fucking goofball. And now he's trying for like the sympathy approach. Before he was going for like the I'm pathetic look. I'm not too sure what he was going for earlier. But now he's trying to get sympathy points.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right for you to have this kind of a discussion.
And I shouldn't have.
Look, divorce is tough. Everybody gets that.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to make fun of that, right?
Chris knows about that.
Okay, it's not
On
good.
top of that,
Sorry.
what kills me right now, on top of the fact that I just blew that part of my life, and I don't even know you, I don't know why I just ruined the rest of my life. I just lost my job as a teacher. I'm probably going to go to jail. I'm not going to survive in jail. For what?
Yeah.
For what?
For what?
I don't know.
13-year-old pussy. It's very weird to say, but that's why you came here. It's because it's what you thought was here. It's as simple as that. You don't want to say it. It is gross to say. I kind of lowered my voice even though no one's around me. I'm in an empty house. I can be in an empty house. James, you should do the same.
Do you have an issue with the internet? Do you have a compulsion, an addiction?
I think I do. I mean, it's not.
Help me to explain.
I know I mentioned this, I think during Clifford's or Lee's time on the show. But in the early, stings, Chris was really pushing like the internet addiction. The internet is kind of a bad place, but it can be a pretty good place as well. And everyone clowned on Chris, saying how wrong he was. That, oh, you can't get addicted to the internet. But now we very much have people that are addicted to the internet. I mean, think of like the stereotypical like Discord moderator, or the stereotypical guy that's on Reddit for his entire life. Like, I would argue that those are people that are addicted to the internet. And it's not good. It's not good for anyone. I honestly think, every day I think Chris was, every day more and more so, I think Chris was right with his kind of original assessment about the internet. I don't know, his stance 100%, but just judging by what I hear the snippets of, he ain't wrong. But right now, he's not 100% right, so we'll see where it leads.
I don't know.
Help me to understand.
I've thought about this a lot for years. Maybe I should just stop.
What?
Maybe I should get counseling. Maybe I should get help. And now I thought, well, it's not that big a deal. I've never taken it to this step. I don't know if this week has just pushed me over the edge.
Okay, so he just mentioned there, I've had this problem for years. So I guess he's admitting that he's attracted to children, and he's felt this way for years, which I don't think anyone on the show has ever admitted that. I'm sure people have. There have been many people caught. But to just flat out admit that, he's not doing it because he knows, it's the right thing to do is like get it off your chest. He's doing it for sympathy points. And he mentioned how he should have gone to counseling. And this was another thing I mentioned in, I think maybe this one was Eric Thornton's episode. But there are places you can go. It's, it's kind of a difficult thing to admit, I'm sure. But, there are places to go. I mean, you're outside of Cincinnati, a relatively large city. There are many resources available there. And you could have used any of those. To not save yourself, but to save a child.
Look,
Dick.
You're not the first guy to have an issue with the internet and sexually charged conversations.
I know.
Addictions and compulsions.
It's not.
I mean, we see it a lot.
Instead of me being arrested, is there some way you can help me?
Well, I don't know that I can do that.
Getting arrested will help you.
I mean, will you give me some of the information here and tell me what exactly is going on?
Do you want to know what's going on? Do you ever watch television? Do you ever watch Dateline NBC?
Oh, damn, I've seen one of these.
You've seen one of these.
Yeah. You know, that was one of the reasons I thought, why am I doing this? This could be a setup.
But let me get this straight.
He just said, one of the reasons I was scared to do this was I thought it was a setup. God damn, that's a loud fucking truck that just drove by. Is that you weren't worried about the decoy. You were worried that it was a setup. You were worried for your safety. When the child should be worried about hers. You're the guardian. You're the adult. It's your duty to, especially as a teacher, a mandatory reporter, I believe. I don't know if teachers actually are, but they might be. It might be different state to state. I don't know. To do the right thing and protect the children. Not protect yourself from a sting operation.
Actually seen our previous programs on computer predators.
I didn't think I was a predator. I wasn't coming up here for anything physical. I know I talk. Look, that was like fantasy.
Here.
That was like
I
fantasy.
know, but
fantasy. Now, that's something that, is quite weird, is it's a fantasy and you've had this issue and you haven't gotten help, and I don't know why Slenderman is here. Hello, Slenderman. And you haven't gotten help. That's all on you, and you put yourself in a position to be around children as a 6th grade teacher, where children are, I don't know what grade you kind of really start puberty, but I imagine it's, 6th, 7th grade for some people. When, hormones are going haywire, and, I remember being young and thinking, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, like, needing, guidance. And oftentimes I'd go to my teacher, just not for, like, help, but just ask a quick question. How many times has James been alone in a room with a child that might have stayed late for help with their homework? He put himself in a horrible position, and he put countless children in a dangerous position.
Everybody says that, but what's going to happen if I'm not here and the 13-year-old girl is? You got all charged up by seeing this gal on the webcam.
Charged up was a weird word, Chris.
I don't know why.
Could I kiss you anywhere?
I'm sorry.
That'd be fun.
Man, I
you
know
could
it's
point
on
and I'd
TV.
kiss it.
Ooh. I think it would be cool. We always talk about, like, Chris, Frag, Dell, and the decoy on the sting. I want to talk to one of the cameramen or, like, the sound guys. Like, dude, you're on a stage at this point. Not only is this are you staged, but you're on a stage. You have a platform right now. There are 2 separate microphones above your head. They set out a bottle of water for you. And you think you can talk your way out of this? But I'd love to speak to one of the camera guys from any of these things. Just to kind of find out, what it was like on their end. I think that'd be quite cool.
Can I go?
Look, there's nothing I can do to keep you here.
I'm sure you're going to turn this into the police, right?
Well,
I'm going to be on TV.
That's not up to me. I mean, we're doing a story. You've seen the stories before. Didn't you think, after seeing the previous stories,
I did,
that maybe this is something I shouldn't do?
That's why I didn't want to come. I really, deep down.
Again, he says that. That's why I didn't want to come. It was when you did want to come. We know with who. But also, you didn't want to come not for the safety of the child, for the safety of yourself, so you wouldn't get in legal trouble. You wanted to find, at some point, an unaccompanied minor. But this one you had to find in a chat room. And if you found one in your class, after school, asking for help on their homework, staying late, or just any horrible scenario, that's what you were waiting for, because that wouldn't be a sting. but this would, and you just said that's why you're hesitant to come here.
Thought this is the stupidest idea. I don't know why I'm here.
But you
I know.
Nobody was twisting your arm.
You're right. You're 100%
You're a
right.
grown-up.
Yeah. I don't feel like one right now. I feel like an idiot.
I mean, I'm just trying to understand how it gets to this point. You even acknowledge it's wrong here, but I don't want either of us getting into trouble.
I know. I knew.
Right there, dude.
I don't know why I'm here.
You talk about...
I know I keep pausing it. This is a long one, and I want to do the whole video in one sit-in, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But you know it's wrong. You didn't want to come. Yes, you did. Like, it's as simple as that. If you didn't want to come here, then why are you here? No one forces you to be here. There's no excuse to pull out that would say, I didn't want to come here. Well, you came here, dude. You have a car. You're an adult. You can do anything. Anything except this.
Parking around back. I'm so freaking horny.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
You know, if you had me naked, I'd want more, right? Yeah, I would too.
Look, man, you don't have to read it. Your TV got... Everybody that's watching this knows why I'm here. It was stupid. I wasn't really going to do anything.
I know, but that's hard to square with...
I wasn't really going to do anything. After you talk all that game, you're going to admit that you're going to pussy out? I don't know. That's kind of weak sauce, my guy.
What you said here, Jim.
I really know.
And everybody who comes in and says, I really wasn't going to do anything. And if you're going to have this conversation and then come over here and a 13-year-old girl is home alone...
I shouldn't have done it. I don't know what I'm here for.
The other issue... Well, it sounds like what you're here for is to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
I wasn't going to have sex with her. Look,
Who was?
give me a Bible. I swear to God.
You know, a lot of people have had religious conversions.
I hate when people bring religion into this, dude. It's such... like, they use it like it shows they have better morals. It's... You know... I'm not going to say whether or not I'm religious. I'm not going to say anything about really my personal beliefs in detail, but I hate when they pull out the, oh, I'm religious, so I can't do that. Yes, you can. Oftentimes, people will use religion as an avenue to be an asshole in other parts of their life. Like, oh, I'm religious on Sundays when I go to church, so that means I can be a dick Monday through Saturday. And then I can say I'm a good person on Sunday and post pictures of me, going to church, showing how good and caring I am, handing out water bottles. But then every other day of the week, I'm a dick. And James, I hate when people do that, man. So annoying. I hate that shit.
After walking in here.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm not that religious of a guy.
And the other...
I'll tell you this. I might have kissed her. I wouldn't have done anything else.
You might have kissed her.
Might have. I know I shouldn't.
You didn't need to admit that, dude. that literally makes your situation worse. I'll be honest, I might have kissed the child, but that's it. No more. Okay, but just one kiss. Dude.
And where's that going to lead once you start kissing her?
I wouldn't have let it. I'm honest with you right now. I know nobody watching's going to believe. I wouldn't have done anything else. She is a kid. I knew that when I was coming up here. I wasn't going to do anything. I'm an adult.
You're a teacher.
Yeah, I know.
That's a position of trust and leadership in the community. You know how kids think. You know it's a very emotionally charged time for them.
I'm not a teacher anymore.
Hey, damn right you're not. Now you work for some town as like a supervisor or something. But, Chris kind of made a good point there. Like, where is that going to lead? Like, at first you're saying I wasn't going to do anything. Now you're saying I was just going to give her like one smooch on the cheek. And you know how you are attracted to this decoy. And if you gave a smooch on the cheek, I don't think you'd be able to control yourself. I think you'd rip your pants off right then and there, dude.
I mean, you're equipped to take advantage of somebody that age should you choose to do so. And by coming here today, it certainly appears as though that's exactly what you were trying to do. Divorce or not, computer problem or not. You know, the experts tell us that, okay, the guy may say, I'm not going to do it this time. Maybe not the next time. But sometime it's going to happen.
You're right. Can I talk to you off camera?
I can't do that. I'm sorry. What's the case?
Do you guys have any help for me?
There are a number of ways to get help, and we're going to get into that in the story. We've got into it in some of the past stories.
Is there any way to keep myself off of this thing?
We've made no decisions as to who's going to be in or out of the story. We're just getting...
You know, the best way to not be on this show is to don't commit the actions that would lead to being on the show. And if you do, you know, the second you get to the house and you just hear a siren from inside call, come inside, doors open, come inside, you run. You're in a Corvette, dude. You got an LS under the hood. Use it.
Started. So I can't.
If there's some way I do start getting help, I mean, my insurance covers therapy, and that's obviously what I need for obviously more than this issue, but I've got a number of things.
Well, you just said you're not going to be a teacher anymore. So unless you're, like, placed on paid leave or whatever, and then pay your insurance out of pocket afterwards, you're not going to have that insurance anymore.
If I, even if it was something I just don't, my life's a wreck right now. On top of this, I don't want this to ruin the rest of my life.
Well, I can tell you what, I can give you my card, and you can keep in touch, and we can...
I mean, are the police here? Am I...
Chris got business cards, dude. I would love to have business cards. Have my name on them, my number, you know, little decal up in the corner. Like, yeah, that's when you know you've made it. But I'm not sure why Chris wanted to give him his card. I'm not saying it's weird or anything. It could be Chris could be thinking like, hey, this could be a good follow-up. You know, if, you know, we keep touch, you know, you actually get help. You know, it could be a follow-up, and it could be, you know, used as an example of, you know, this guy was caught, he went through classes, and now he has help. And now he isn't attracted to children.
Going to be taken out of here in handcuffs right now?
I mean, that's not up to me. But that's my card. I'm sorry, Trent, that's my card. That's okay. But if you want to call and stay in contact...
I mean, even if maybe there's, I don't know, a way that without telling the world that I screwed up royally, that you can maybe do hide my identity. I'll even sit down with you, and I can try to get help.
All I can tell you right now is, because we're just getting started with this and we're in the middle of it, I mean, all I'm saying is that you can call me. I'll be happy to talk to you as we continue to put the story together. And you know, that's really all I can tell you at this point.
Dude, you're giving this guy 36 minutes of content. The show, how long was the show? Was it an hour? Spread over like 1 or 2 episodes or whatever? I've never actually watched an episode of To Catch a Predator, by the way. I've only ever watched snippets off YouTube. And the occasional one I download. I've never watched a full one. You're going to say, please don't put me on air. You know, one, that's a prime example of who to put on air. Is, oh, this guy will get us some good views. Fucking goofball.
Just don't know how it's all going to shape up. And I'm just being straight with you, that's all. So I can't promise you one thing or another.
I promise you a lot right now.
Well, I understand that. A lot of people promise.
I know. And you know what? In the last one I saw, the guy was dumb enough that he came here. The next damn day he went and tried to do it again. I'm not that stupid. I don't know why I'm here.
Kennelly, right?
I need help. But you know what? You're right. I'm a teacher. And I don't do it because I'm some pervert. I love teaching. I love kids.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't have paused it there.
I'm a teacher. And I don't do it because I'm some pervert. I love teaching. I love kids. It's the only thing I've ever loved. I don't know why.
I don't do it because I'm a pervert. I love kids. I know there he meant to say I love kids as in like the, you know, the normal connotation derived from, or whatever the fuck you want to say it. But given the context, that's not the line you want to use there. Like, you can say you enjoy teaching, because as far as I know, I know people who are teachers, and they all do it because they enjoy it. Some of them are starting to lose their enjoyment from it, but I love kids. Way to go, dude. What else did he say there? I was so bewildered by the I love kids statement.
I need help.
Yeah.
But I you know what, you're right. I'm a teacher. And I don't do it because I'm some pervert.
What other reason would you do this? Oh, no, he's talking about being a teacher. Like, you know, you're 26. How long could you have been a teacher? I'm not trying to say that he originally went to school, be around kids, but it's possible that he developed it being around kids.
I love teaching. I love kids. It's the only thing I've ever loved. I don't know what the hell. I don't know why I'm here.
Pussy.
And you asked me if I coach. Yeah, I coach. And not because I was trying to find a damn date or get. It's because I like working with those people. I like teaching kids, and I don't know what I'm doing here. I know you've heard this. Hell, I've seen people sit here and say the same stuff.
But what does it say?
It doesn't say much for me. I know.
About the fact that you were suspicious. You had seen our previous stories. Probably got a chuckle out of what happened to some of these guys.
Yeah, and honestly, I sat there and watched and thought, those guys are sick. Why would you do that?
That Dwayne Chisholm, I believe his name is, the really buff guy from this thing where they were on a beach. Flagler, I think it was. Also said, you see the show and you think how gross and disgusting these guys are. And, you agree with him because, he's right. But he's also the guy on the show. I don't know. It's weird, the method he's trying here. I don't know what he's trying to do exactly, but,
And that was what, a month and a half ago? And then here I am.
But what does it say about your issue? That you would watch the program,
I don't
pass
know.
judgment on the guys in that show,
I'm a
and then
hypocrite.
show up here yourself.
I'm obviously a hypocrite.
yeah. Dangerous
Sorry, Mr.
hypocrite.
Hanson. I'm sorry, all you guys. I'm sorry if this does end up on air. I'm sorry. Everybody else that sees this, don't do it.
Don't do it. A bit of an understatement there, my guy.
That's why I said if there's any way I can get help, if I can show you I've gotten help, if I can show you that it's helping me.
I mean, all I can tell
Try
you
to
is that,
negotiate.
let me know what's going on. I mean, that's my number, that's my email.
Chris does not have that email anymore.
I mean, how much trouble am I in if you do turn this into the police?
Well, that's not up to me. I mean,
But I mean, do you know?
but
I don't even know.
I mean, all I'm involved in is the story. So
Does anybody here know? I know you guys aren't allowed to be on camera, but
because they're all involved in the story too. The law enforcement part is something that's separate and that I don't control.
I mean, I know I've seen some of them that I could be wrong. I watched bits and pieces of it. We talked about it, and like I said, I thought, what the hell's wrong with these people?
Did you talk about it in school?
Yeah, we talked about it with the other teachers. A lot of us had seen it. And we thought, why would you do that? We all.
So this is
Imagine being one of his coworkers. You're in the break room. You're at the water cooler. Just got some nice cold water in one of those paper cups, and you're like, damn, that shit good. And James walks in. You don't know who he is really at the time, and you're talking with him like, yo, you seen that show with that guy Chris Hansen where they catch people online? And they're like, yeah, and you're talking about it. And obviously, you work around children. You kind of have a bit of a vested interest in the show. And then all of a sudden, you get an email from the school administrator. James Rutherford will be placed on leave. He will not be joining us for any more school. He will not be involved with the school anymore. And you're like, oh, that's weird. And then you find out that he was on the fucking show you were talking about while you were calling those guys weird. Imagine being his coworker. And you were a teacher, dude. That's a pretty solid gig. And you threw it away. I don't know. Little interesting tidbit.
These stories have been a topic of discussion at the school where you teach.
And then here I am.
And then here you are. What are you going to say to those other teachers?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't. I don't know what I'll do. I don't want you to think I'm a monster. I'm not. I'm really not. I don't think. I didn't think I was anyway. Maybe I am.
But you're here.
Part of me, I do wonder if these are like real emotions talking right now. I mean, dude's got like fucking 6 people around him right now. Like, I wonder if it's real emotion speaking, or if it's him, trying to beg his way out of this. Because I do wonder, like, what's the actual mindset right now? Like, we everyone's been in situations that, I would say are nerve-wracking.
Drove 2 hours to get here. Plenty of time to...
I was this close, honestly, to just going to the Wright-Patt Air Force Museum. I was this close. I thought, what am I doing?
He pulls out... Okay, I think he's... All this is just, fully just trying to get out of it. He doesn't actually feel bad. But I was this close to going to this Air Force Museum. I would go there. That sounds sick. Maybe see like an F-104, a couple P-51s or whatever they got. And, like, I was this close to not coming here. But that means that you were wrestling mentally. I don't know what that fucking noise is. But that means you were mentally wrestling with yourself to try to, tell yourself, no, I shouldn't go there. Like, I shouldn't go to that house. But something was calling out to you. You were fighting yourself. And if you're fighting yourself to come here, that obviously means you have an urge. Mentally wrestle with yourself for an underage individual to have sex with. It's that simple. Fucking goofball.
Why am I doing this?
Good question.
I thought I'll go there. Or I saw some tourist something on whatever state route I was on. I even thought, hell, while I'm here, I'll go to the place I bought my car here, believe it or not, and see if they've got the key they never gave me. I had so many things cross my mind that what I should be doing. And it's like I was thinking no, but I just did it anyway. I don't know why.
I mean, was it like some...
Can I drink this?
Yes, you may.
I can't. I'm getting dry. Obviously.
Are you suggesting that you couldn't control yourself?
Apparently not.
Yeah, just what I said right there. His impulse was so strong for this child that he couldn't control himself. He was lured here, not lured. He dragged himself here even though he knew it was wrong. Like, that's not a good sign. Saying that you were mentally fighting yourself, the whole 2-hour drive here, when you had days to not do this, shows, how strong your desire is.
And I'm not trying to make excuses. I know it sounds like that. I don't know. I mean, I've always talked to people online, and I've never done anything like this. You're right. It's like I couldn't control myself. I'm not trying to make excuses. I don't know if I.
You literally are. Dude, you've been talking for 17 minutes. Like, you have quite literally spent this entire time making excuses. Like, you're not having like small talk with Chris. You aren't sitting down having a coffee with him with an old friend. You're being filmed by like 4 fucking cameras. There are 2 microphones above your head. Like, you quite literally are trying to make an excuse.
Shut down this week. I am about to go through a divorce.
I know you won't shut up about it.
I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't be here.
Maybe if it wasn't
for that, I can honestly say that because I wouldn't have, wanted to hurt my wife, and I think maybe I just said, "What the hell? I've got nothing else to lose right now," and obviously, I really didn't think that one through because
he just said, He's been bitching and moaning about how he's going to lose his job. But now he's like, oh, well, I got nothing to lose, so I'm going to go be attracted to a 13-year-old. Like, which one is it, dude? You're trying everything possible to talk your way out of this. What are you doing, man?
I'm pretty sure this is going to cost me the rest of everything I know.
But, you look like a guy who's got it together, who could go out and be social and talk to women your age.
I try.
Have buddies.
I don't know why I'm here. Jesus.
I mean, was it the allure of...
I don't know. I really, honestly, and you're right.
Of some forbidden fantasy? Is that what's going on? I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to be a hard guy about it.
I know.
But I'm just trying to understand it, that's all.
I know. I don't, you know what, I wish I understood it. I don't know if it was, like you said, just because it was forbidden, or...
I'm going to let him finish the sentence.
I don't know. I wish I could tell.
The next word was, I don't know. Like, they're trying to, like, decipher why he did this. And he's like, I don't know if it's because I'm not allowed to have it, which is why I want it, which is such a childish argument. You ever have that friend when you were younger that was like, if I can't have it, no one can? Situation, or, like you tell, like, a kid, no, you can't have that, and then they really want it. Like, no, you can't have that chocolate milk right now.
Because the law is very clear on a 13-year-old. I mean, just the chat.
Probably wasn't a good idea.
Illegal.
Is it really?
Against the law.
Just to talk to somebody? I mean,
to solicit for sex.
But I wasn't soliciting for sex.
I know, but I'm not the prosecutor, I'm not the police. But I'm just saying, you know what you said. It was sexually
will you
charged.
turn in all this stuff to him too?
We're really gathering this for a story. Law enforcement does what law enforcement does. We do what we do.
So you just give them like that? And say
I personally don't. I mean, we use this for the story, and the law enforcement part of it is something totally separate.
Like I said, my life is pretty much going to right now, and
I know you won't shut up about it.
Made an even bigger mistake and probably just cost myself everything else. My friends,
a little bit, yeah.
Trust, my job.
Yep, correct.
I just want to get help, and I know that's probably not going to happen. But
there are classes you can go to. James, there are classes you can go to. I know this guy up in Maine. He takes classes, and I hear he's really good at them. He's at every single one of them, so he must be really good. He has a lot of practice. But I'm at the point where I'm going to need to start repeating myself from earlier. But you have this problem. You're talking about how you can go get classes, how your insurance covers it. Nothing was stopping you from going on your own volition, check it into like a mental hospital, or getting a group of like real close friends together, or your wife, and your wife is getting divorced with you. Maybe a year ago, maybe when these issues first started arising or whatever, go on leave from work. Okay, don't work around them, and talk to your wife and be like, hey, I need to like check into a facility. That's probably going to lead to a divorce as well, but then you wouldn't be able to harm a child.
On something stupid like this, but I wish I could just find help.
There were places.
Well, help is out there.
That's why I wish. I mean, if I don't end up in jail,
I
hope I don't end up in jail for this stupid mistake.
It's not.
I don't want to throw away my.
It's not a mistake. It is a mistake, yes, but a mistake implies, like there was like outside control. Like you were fully aware of your decisions. You were fully aware of, what the consequences could be, and what, not just for you, but for the child. Like you are fully aware of everything going on at the moment. A mistake is when you misjudge the timing on, you're playing tennis and you misjudge where the ball is and you hit it wrong. That's a mistake. All right. This is a set of deliberate actions that you had to take over the course of several days, over several 2 hours, over 100 miles of steps led to this. This isn't a spur of the moment mistake, my guy. This was, conscious decisions to do this.
My life or something.
Have you ever gone to visit somebody who's underage before?
No.
Have you ever chatted with somebody who's underage before on the internet?
I have. And like I said, I don't know if it was just the kind of allure and the fantasy.
So how many times do you figure you've done that in the past?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the internet's been around since I was that age. And I guess as I grew up, I just, I would chat and things like that. Probably more than I should have. I don't know.
Almost like an addiction?
I mean, no, I know you said, and I saw it on the damn show, every one of them walked in, and I'm sorry, I'll watch my language. Every one of them walked in, I've never done this, and I'm sure some of them had. I really haven't. I don't know why I did it.
But you have chatted with underage
I have,
kids.
but never with the intention that I was really going to do something. And then today it was like...
But these conversations were sexual in nature?
Yeah, sometimes. And that's one of the things, like I said...
Wait a minute.
These guys were really going to do something.
I got a text. I checked my phone. I'm going to back that up real quick.
Watch my language.
Sorry.
One of them, I've never done this, and I'm sure some of them had. I really haven't. I don't know why I did it.
But you have chatted with underage kids.
But never...
What was that, James? What was that? At first you were saying you've never done this before. You didn't want to come here. But then you were saying, you'd never done this before, but you kind of wanted to come here. Then you said, you never wanted to come here, but you were enticed here. And now you're saying you've done similar things before. Not going to someone's house. You haven't said that. You might say that later. I don't know at this fucking point. You say you haven't showed up before, but you have chatted before. So these, this isn't a one-time mistake. There were thousands of decisions that led to you sitting in that chair. Every time you responded, you didn't need to. Every time you opened up that chat room, you didn't need to. Every time the entire drive here, every time you passed a road or a turnaround, you could have used it. But no, you followed the route here. And what more are you going to admit to, my guy?
With the intention that I was really going to do something. And then today it was like...
But these conversations were sexual in nature?
Yeah, sometimes. And that's one of the things, like I...
Jesus Christ, man. You don't need to admit that. It's good that he has. But, what are you what point are you trying to make here? Like, you can't get any sympathy points for saying that, yeah, I've hit up underage children before. And as far as I know, none of them were decoys. So, you clearly have done this for a while. Could your wife have found out, hopped on the family computer to check her MySpace and see that you left a Yahoo chat open? Your wife's probably leaving you because you're not loyal, dude. You committed, acts of infidelity. You are willingly and openly going behind your wife's back. And you said you've done this before, so who knows, the time frame. This could have been months ago. This could have been years ago. And you're going to say, oh, I'm going through a divorce, I'm going through a hard time. Dude, your wife's going through a hard time, dude. Her husband is admitted on TV to have spoken to multiple children as he's at a house where he went to go meet one. You aren't the victim here, dude. You are, you betrayed the trust of marriage. Jesus.
I think it was before these guys even came out. I know it was, actually. I've thought many times, how do I stop this? How do I get... And I guess...
By turning around.
This isn't embarrassing as hell. But I was always just too embarrassed to even go talk to a counselor or talk to a therapist and say, look, I think I've got a problem. Here's what I do.
That is a point I will agree with him on. I haven't let it finish yet. But I mentioned this before. You know, if you admit this to like a counselor, like obviously, you know, a specialized counselor would, you know, might not judge you for it, but you know, having to say it to someone might be very difficult, and the social stigma around it. And I got one comment on one of my videos from like an actual, I guess, professional, and she talked about it, for, you know, in the comment, and like who would like, let's say you go to the like, you know, a therapist and say, hey, I have this problem that I know I have and I know I need help for, and the therapist looks at you, looks up from their like their little notepad, like, what'd you just say? Like that would be a very difficult thing to admit to. You know, well, he's admitted to it on TV, but he's probably so mentally drained at this point, trying to just sitting there talking to Chris. I imagine it's pretty mentally draining, and so he doesn't care anymore. But you know, it's he makes a point there. You know, how do you initially get help from this for this without getting arrested and being forced to go to classes? And then, do you want to be the guy that goes to these classes? You know, it's difficult to explain, but I agree with James on that.
Why? How do I fix this? How do I help myself?
I mean, how often do you figure that you've talked to somebody who's underage?
This age, not. I mean, like I said, I was in an adult room. I was talking to people that were 20, 25, and I was just clicking on random names. And,
Trying to find a woman or a girl.
Just chatting with girls, guys. I mean, not sexually usually. And I clicked on hers, and we started talking, and I even think at first I was like, oh, I'm a little young, and I know I've been trying not to do that. I really have. I thought, well, it's innocent enough. We're just chatting about stupid stuff, whatever, no big deal. I mean, I do the same thing at school.
But it almost appears...
That's bringing up what you do at school, even if you're just talking about like sports or whatever, like that's not inherently weird to do with children, especially like, you know, in a class it's not. But like to say like, oh, I was talking about the same stuff in the chat room that I talk about at school with this underage girl who I have then sent, you know, heinous messages to. Like, that's not a good look, my guy.
If you look at this, like there was a grooming process, like you were
You
trying
know,
to
I
get
remember
her
you
to-
said that, and I've examined. Do I do that? I mean, is that what I'm doing when I'm on here? I remember hearing that and thinking, is that me? Is that what I'm doing? I didn't think of it like that. I don't.
By being in that chat room, are you grooming yourself to convince yourself that you should do this? If you know you have this problem, and you know you shouldn't be there, but yet you reach out to who knows how many individuals a night, are you not, in a way, grooming yourself?
I don't know how many studies there have been on how, obviously, I'm something I didn't think I was.
But
I don't.
As a teacher, obviously you read the stuff about making sure kids don't fall prey to stuff like this.
I don't in
right?
school. I've never, ever crossed that line. Ever. I've never even considered it when I was with kids.
But I'm not.
I find that a bit hard to believe. You know, he admits he has this problem, and he's around 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, I imagine. I don't know how middle schools work, you know, in Ohio. But let's say it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. You know, that's when, you know, a lot of people are going through puberty. And not to sound like a creep or anything, but, you know, we all know what happens during puberty. And who's to say that James isn't staring? Who's to say that he's not looking? If this was in a different era with smartphones, would he be taking pictures? So it's very bad that he worked out of school. But I do want to actually say something real quick, because I'm going to put a disclaimer in the beginning, or I might just do a voiceover real quick. As far as we know, he's never reoffended. So it's very good that he, you know, it has appeared to have taken the correct steps. He has since gotten remarried, and there's no evidence he's ever reoffended, so that is good. You know, if James is admitted to having an issue, it has clearly been worked on. So that's good.
I'm not even suggesting that. What I am suggesting is, as a teacher, you're exposed to the material that explains how this can happen, what to look for in your students to make sure they don't fall prey to this sort of thing, and here you are involved in this kind of activity.
God, I don't know how I'm going to tell anybody. I wish I didn't have to. Why am I here?
I mean, if you saw the stories and you're up on the material and you realize the danger, that must say something about the allure, at least for you, of this sort of activity. And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to get it.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about. Oh, Jesus, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why I did it. Like I said, I've never...
We know why you did it, okay? You might know it's wrong, but part of you, that knows it's wrong, wants it, and you're willing to do something wrong to get what you want. That's a normal thing people do. Is not this. Is I know I shouldn't do this, but I really want to know X, so you do it.
I don't know what it is about. Oh, Jesus, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why I did it. Like I said, I've never, ever crossed a line like that with a person that I was a student. Ever. Not even thought about it. I guess maybe it was just like online.
According to one lady, I mentioned this before, but she did call the sheriff's department and thank them because James reached out to her child in school or when he was a teacher. But, as far as I know, nothing ever came of it, and she only ever reported it afterwards. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to pass judgment on that because it could be something very horrible, and I don't want to like diminish it. But I don't know about that. Yeah, I just don't know on that. So maybe.
It was like they weren't real.
It's all pretend.
That's kind of what it feels like, I think.
But it was real when you walked in that door.
Oh yeah.
It was real while it was in your head.
Like I said, I'd seen. Haven't there been two of these? Or just one?
Three.
Yeah.
I'd seen them. I knew that was a possibility. And I thought, why would I throw my life away for this? And I just kept driving. I don't know why.
Because the allure. This is like the 15th time he said, I don't know why I kept driving. The allure of a child literally drove you here. Like, it's as simple as that. You might not want to admit it, but that's what it was.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell America. I wish I could tell everybody that I'm going to have to tell.
What do you say to other men your age who are now in chat rooms talking to girls, underage girls? What do you say to them?
What would I say, having been here?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? I can't say I don't feel really hypocritical, but I would be like, look, you need to step back and figure out what your intentions are.
The intentions are quite obvious by the chat. Like what other intentions could there be in any case like this? Like, I was going to help her with her math homework. Like, no, you weren't. Like, what are your intentions for reaching out in this case? This guy with the microphone on the left is getting tired from holding it over his head for so long. But, Jesus, I have like 11 minutes left. Yeah, about 11 minutes left, Jesus. Like, there's no other thing that you could do in this case that makes it okay to go to the house where the child is. Like, we've heard the we're just going to hang out argument. We've heard Mandy's we're just going to smoke weed and watch a movie argument. It's neither of those are okay, and they should be illegal. But it's not justifiable. It's not something you should do instead of. You shouldn't do it at all.
Is this worth it? And for what?
That load bearing for what? Is it worth it? No. No. Is 8 minutes of violent... I'm not even going to respond to that one.
I'm serious. I know that doesn't look good.
Damn right.
Honestly, on the way up, I thought, you know what, I'll just hang out, watch a movie, and go home. I don't
It's a long way to drive to hang out and watch
You're
a movie.
right, and I know it, like I said, it doesn't
Spend
look
more
good.
time
It
driving than
sounds
watching
like
the
I'm
movie.
full of BS. But I thought, you know, she's a kid. She's half my age.
Literally
I'm not
half
going
your
to do
age.
something like that to her. And I know, I mean, everybody out there is going to think I'm full of it, but that's really the whole way up here, back and forth again. Why should I just turn around?
This is okay. I'm again repeating myself. He's saying, why didn't I just turn around? Because the thought of an unaccompanied minor who you would be the sole pseudo guardian of.
I go somewhere else? Should I just go, you know, pull over and cry because my life's crap right now? And
You're driving a fucking
then-
C5 Vet, dude.
here I am. Here I am.
I haven't watched James's full uncut, but this guy, his arm's getting tired and holding up the mic. This guy over here is, you better not be locking his knees. This guy with the camera just said, "Alright, fuck this. My arm's getting tired." Realistically, like, he probably ran out of, like, room or whatever, or battery or whatever. But it's just kind of funny.
But what would I say? I don't know. Why are you here? Have you really thought about this? Have you thought about the consequences for yourself? Have you thought about the consequences if you guys weren't here?
What could have happened?
Even if it hadn't been this, even if nothing had happened, I could have messed
It's
her
still-
life up. I mean,
You know,
You know how vulnerable a
he's got a point. He must have swapped, like, batteries or something. He's got a point. Even if nothing happened, you know, the chat can mess up the child. You know, it can be, imagine being like a kid and some stranger online that you were talking to is at your house and you're alone. You have no one to call for help. Your back is against the wall and you're in a corner. Like, what can you do? It's my guy.
13-year-old kid can be. You've got him
and
in
like
your
I said,
corner.
I don't know if it was the internet. Like I said, I think something about it. Even when I was that age, it was like it wasn't real. I'm talking to people that it's people you don't know. You can chat about politics or cars or sports or obviously sex, but it's like it's
Yeah.
not real. You know, if they get mad,
I'm gonna let
you
him
get
finish.
mad at them. You never have to see them again.
Okay. It's not real, but it's also real at the same time. Like, it is nowadays less so because of all the bots out there. But nowadays, you know, back then, you know, it's not real in the sense that it's not like a real conversation. Like, it's someone you never know, you'll never meet again. So it doesn't have that much substance to it. It doesn't have a lot of weight to carry. But, you know, it is still a conversation between two people.
Chat about that it's people you don't know. You can chat about politics or cars or sports or obviously sex, but it's like it's not real. You know, if they get mad or you get mad at them, you never have to see them again.
And that part, you know, that part at the end, you know, you never gonna see him again. Like, yeah.
And I don't know what. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses.
You are.
I don't know if it was just that this week pushed me over the edge, and that's why I crossed this line. I really never have just driven to meet a 13-year-old before. Why would I?
Because you want one.
I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what made me do it.
Will you do me a favor?
13-year-old pussy.
Keep me posted.
I will.
All right.
I mean,
That's my number right
Mr. Hansen, I'm serious. If
I appreciate that. That's why I asked you to
I don't, and I know it's not up to you, it's going to be up to your producers. I'm serious and I'm going to get help. I know you hear that probably from every single schmuck that walks through that door, that I'm going to get help. And like I said, I even saw that idiot go out and try it again the next day.
John Cannelli. So we know, you know, which episode he watched. You watch John Connelly. Way to go.
And I don't know if that's even going to happen. I don't know if I should even go home and call my parents, call my lawyer, call my principal, and say, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I've never
Bold of
thought
you
about
to
it with
assume
those
you're going
kids.
home.
I never would have crossed that line with any of them because they're real to me. I see their emotions. I don't want to throw that away, and I'm afraid I just did. But if there's any way that I can help you, and that if the police, the prosecutor, your bosses, and I know it's not up to you, could, like I said, even if you'd hide my identity, you can use my words if you spew my voice. I don't know, and then even do a follow-up. Interview me, I'll start talking to someone. Hell, I'm sitting here doing it, what could be on national television. I guess I can now do it with a therapist.
Now it's on YouTube.
You wish you had done it before with a therapist instead of sitting here with me and all these television cameras?
Oh, yeah. And I'm not kidding. I've thought about that more than once. I mean, I guess I could have been like the other guys and taken off running.
You
But then I
arguably
guess
should have.
I wouldn't have gotten to tell my side of why I'm here.
There's no your side of why I'm here. Like, yeah, there's, what was going through your mind and all that and the excuses you want to use. But, you're not making a case for yourself where people are going to be like, oh, you know what, maybe he's innocent. You're just rambling. Like, your side, there aren't two victims in this story. This isn't a petty squabble you're trying to solve as a teacher. This is criminal behavior.
You would have known who I was anyway, and it would have probably been worse. I have thought about, I'll be frank, I mean, since I was probably 20, 21, and of course then, it was, I'm 20, she's 17, I'm chatting to her, no big deal. It was like I kept getting older, and then,
Kids
it's
kept getting
cliche, they got younger, or they stayed the same age, and, 99.9% of the people I would even talk to on there are 19, 20, 21 at the youngest. But it was the other ones that I always thought, well, why am I chatting? And the fact that many a times I thought, I'm married, why am I chatting to women anyway? Maybe
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I always thought
I'm going to cut him off there. That's a good point. I mentioned that earlier, but you're being disloyal to your wife. Like, just talking to another woman just casually isn't being disloyal to your wife. But hitting up a woman in a chat room, having even a slightly inappropriate conversation, is being disloyal to your wife. It's as simple as that. Do you think that could be why your wife wants to leave you? Is because maybe she doesn't know that you do this, but maybe there are just weird things that she's noticed about you. Maybe you're glued to the computer. Maybe you left a message open. And, you just, I don't know. He's just, the fact he's being disloyal to his wife, and he's using his divorce as an excuse to not just be disloyal with his wife, but to be disloyal with his wife to a 13-year-old, bugs me.
just can't put that out there in front of a therapist. I couldn't admit it to myself, and
This guy with the boom mic. I don't know how heavy that boom mic is, but he's just sitting down now. I don't blame him.
I couldn't admit it to a stranger, and now here I am. I just hope it's not too late for me. I know America, if this makes it on, is going to think that I should never be within a mile of a kid again, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry, and I've honestly, especially the parents of the kids that are probably going to see this that know me.
Oh yeah,
I've
dude.
never thought about it.
Imagine that. Imagine hearing that a teacher at your child's school was arrested in an online predator sting. So you're like, screw it, I'll watch it. So you're sitting down there, you're watching it, and this guy pops up, and you hear him talking about, the snippets from the chat log and all that, and you're thinking like, my child was next to this man. There have been times where this was the only adult in the room with my child. And like, dude, I don't know how I would act in that, or just any situation similar, but that's when, vigilantes kind of
make not a name for themselves, but when they do something, whether or not I agree with it, that's not the point. But that's when, individual parents start stepping up, and that's when things really happen.
One of them. Never would have done it. I mean, hell, nobody at school even knows except my principal and a couple of my close friends knows I'm getting divorced.
What do you think they're going to say at school?
I think they'll be surprised. Because I'm not... This isn't me.
Well, it is, though. Because you just spent 30 minutes telling Chris how you have this compulsion that needs work. So it's very much a part of you. It might not be a part of you anymore. And if it isn't, that's good. That's, what we want to happen. But it quite literally is you. It controlled you to come here to this house. It is you. It's not an outside force. It is you.
I don't know. I hope they're surprised. I don't...
But I guess the question that some people might ask is this. If you eventually evolve to the point where you'd come here to meet a 13-year-old girl after this kind of conversation, at what point do you suddenly become interested in kids in the school you teach? Right? It's a legitimate question.
That's why I want help. Maybe, I don't know. You've seen this a lot of times. What do I do now?
Jail.
Well, I'm not in the business of giving...
You're not a person that gives
psychiatric advice, but I think if you...
He's not a therapist.
Anywhere, just like you would if you were feeling you were ill in any other way, they would probably help you.
But what do I do with that? I mean, like I said, do I go home and...
You don't go
and
home.
Call my boss and say I can't come in anymore?
Those are things that I just can't...
I know.
I'm not in a position to give you advice on. Now, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you shedding light on this situation, because I think it's helpful in a number of different ways. And again, I'm being serious about this. That's my number and that's my email. And keep me posted as to how things are going. And I'm willing to have a continuing discussion with you. In terms of what's going to be in the story or not in the story, we're just starting, so I can't...
I mean, when is this thing supposed to air and all that?
Those things are going to be decided once we get the story together, and it's not done yet. So, I mean, like I said, if you want to keep in touch with me, as I know that information, I'm going to share it with you. I'm not going to hide it from you,
I know.
So, I'm just being as straight up.
As much as some people find this part weird from Chris about how he's willing to have the guy reach back out to him, it would have been a very interesting follow-up episode, or even like a parallel episode, where you see the process that these guys have to go through. Like, in the TCAP community, you always hear like, oh, they got sentenced to this, this, and this, and they have to go to classes, and they have to do this. But I don't actually know what any of those entail. Like, up until like some of the Lorne stuff got released about like his sex offender courses, I really didn't know anything about them. Like, what do you do when you're there? That would have been a very interesting episode to see of, sitting in on a sex offender class or anything similar. It would have provided a lot of insight into, the legal sense of what happens afterwards. And what's it like registering as an offender? Like, do you just walk down to the police station, be like, hey, I'm here for my, updated picture, or like what entails it?
About it as I can.
I just don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, a lot of those guys came in here, and I know there was one that was like a rabbi, and there was... Mm-hmm. And a lot of those guys weren't in a position
David
that
K.
they were with kids. And I feel like, as much as I love my job, and as embarrassing and as hard as it's going to be to tell anyone, I don't know if I should go back and put myself there. But like I said, it's the only thing I've ever loved, teaching. It's the only thing I've ever been good at. And I hate to throw that all away for a stupid frickin' mistake. And something that I really did go back and forth on so much.
It's tortured you.
going back and forth on it doesn't make you sound like the victim here. It makes you sound like, you know, a monster in a way. Like you're torn between good and bad, but the thought of, you know, the power that bad brings and the personal gain is what drove you to do this, not the good, which is the right thing, and to not harm the innocent.
It really did. I mean, I know some of those guys were like, heck yeah, gung-ho, I'm in, and probably a lot of them had done it before. And I'm sure some of them hadn't. Some of them were probably in my boat, that it was just like a mistake.
Well, Jim, I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. I mean, and tell that kid I'm sorry too. All right.
It wasn't a real child. Thank God it wasn't. Tell the kid I'm sorry too. Well, the kid's not here. They were never real. Emily was like 18, 19, maybe even 20 at the time, all right? You weren't speaking to an actual child. All right, let's make that clear.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Jail.
I'm sorry. Is that still on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really am. If anybody that I know sees this, I am sorry. Don't think of me as a monster. I'm not.
You might have been a monster at this time, but I mentioned this earlier, and to our knowledge, you know, he has never reoffended. You know, he does appear to have turned his life around. He's remarried. And I need to say this again, never reach out to anyone on this show. To any of the decoys, to any of the people caught. Don't reach out to them. It's wrong to do. And also, you know, at a certain point, it does become a crime.
All right, well, do me a favor. Keep me posted, all right?
Am I supposed to leave now, or should I?
Yeah, no, you're free to leave. Yeah. I mean, if you want to take the water, you can.
Damn. Chris hitting him with the, you're free to leave. That's, you know, in James's eyes, that's probably such like a relief, like, oh, you know, legally I might not get into any trouble right now. I can go home, go on damage control, and all that. But no.
Sorry, guys.
I wonder if he still has that business card.
I'll keep in touch. You know what I'm doing.
All right.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Is he pulling out his keys? This is quite a casual arrest. They're just walking up. Is that the end of that? Yeah. I'm not going to show him getting arrested. There's nothing more to it. This has been 36 minutes of uncut footage, which on OBS I've been recording for an hour and 47. Now I have his chat log. Alright, and now we are on to his chat log. And his chat log is quite long. I don't know, you know, where it ranks among, you know, the longest of chat logs, but it is definitely up there. It is 35 pages. It is a lot to it. And I skimmed through it earlier, and there's a couple of parts, so we'll go through them. But on January, February, March. On March 18th of 06, he messages, hey, and there's a link to the first contact. I'm not going to go over that because it's not interesting. But he messages first. Hi, what's up? Bored chatting, you know, the usual. And the decoy asks for age, sex, location. And he says 26 male, Ohio. And the decoy says 13 female, Greenville. So, you know, that's, you know, off the bat, he knows. And they keep talking, and he mentions surprised anyone as young as you is in here. And the decoy says their name is Danica with a K. Little interesting. And he says, "So what would you like to talk about?" You know, with you, someone double my age, nothing. Nothing, not one bit, not a damn thing. And that's where he first says he's a teacher. And he says he teaches 6th grade. Not much younger than you now that I think about it. That is crazy. Obviously, we knew he was a teacher when Chris was talking with him. And I never really brought it up that much, and I should have brought it up a little more. But he called them monsters. And I just like calling them that. I'm not always a fan of calling someone a monster for doing something bad because it dehumanizes them. And it's important to remember that humans are capable of bad things. But it is quite ironic that he calls those children that he teaches monsters when he is the one committing the horrible act. This is still part of the same conversation, the first conversation so far. And they're talking about, like, when's their birthday and all that. And he mentions that he had a pet rat who died. Which, I find that a little odd, but I know people who've had pet rats. So, a little odd, but not the craziest of things. Thanks. Decoy says, "You're nice." He says, "Thanks, so are you." So I'm guessing you're kinda goth. I guess the decoy's profile picture showed that. I don't know if I've ever seen the decoy for this one. But decoy says yes. And James, who I also want to mention, his screen name is Rutherford, his last name. So, just, that's like, just put your social security number there, dude. Like, what are you doing? But he says that's cool. That look is fun. And, early 2000s goth look. Yeah, I respect it. Rutherford, or James, then says, "I've met some really hot goth chicks." Okay. That's, not heinous, but also not good. You're not saying that to, a 24-year-old, 23-year-old. You're saying that to a 13-year-old. This part's a little funny to me. The decoy says they're grounded because they're failing math. And Rutherford says, "Oh, I can't help you there. I suck at math." My guy, you are literally a teacher. I understand middle school is where you have actual teachers for independent subjects. But, like, you can still, help out. It's basic algebra, dude. You're just now learning about, like, graphs. Like, you can help, dude. And then he says, "Do you have a boyfriend?" "No." "How come?" "Well, we broke up." "I'm sorry." "It's okay. He was a jerk." "We all are." James. And then the decoy asks, "You got a girlfriend?" And he says, "Actually, I'm married, but we're not doing well." I wonder if that is at all related to the fact that you are hitting up children online multiple times. And the decoy's profile picture, and she might have like one or two up on the profile. I don't actually know how Yahoo Messenger worked, but he asked, "Do you have any more pics?" And then they talk for a little bit more, and he tries to send a picture, and I don't know if it was like an appropriate picture, but I'm guessing it was appropriate because the decoy just mentioned like, "Oh, cool," like didn't say anything crazy about it. But if we keep moving on, he says, "Hey, did you ever find any more pics?" And the decoy says, "Did you go to MySpace?" "Yes, I saw those two, LOL." That's when I said you're cute. Okay. I mean, calling a child cute isn't exactly wrong. I mean, you're calling a kid cute, right? It's normal. In this case, it's not. Given the context of where it's said in the chat log I read it from, but thanks. I'm cold. Aw, hugs. LOL. Thanks. I'm sure you're warm. Okay, historically speaking, my interaction with women isn't exactly the most varied. But last I checked, they tend to be freezing. Every single one of them I've known has been cold, like ice cold. That decoy ain't warm, dude. You're not gonna find the warmth in your heart in a 13-year-old. And now, about an hour into the conversation, here's the first real example of him being a predator in this case. And he says, "Thanks, you're cute too. And definitely have a pretty face. For jailbait." Then again, you may look like Grimace below the neck. Jesus, dude. It's a 13-year-old, man. You don't need to verbally abuse her, man. I do need to say they've just been talking quite a bit. They're asking like pets, hobbies, music, and all that. And this is a decent way into the chat, and he's just asking like normal questions, save for like one or two odd spots. So I don't think so far it's not the worst chat. Granted, I'm only like 4 or 5 pages in, so it's not horrible, but it's obviously not great. But it could certainly be worse. So I should mention Rutherford did have his webcam on. I think he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there typing in front of the webcam just so the decoy could see him. And they just keep talking. Next time I'll turn my camera on again, even though I'm ugly. Decoy says, "You're not ugly, thanks. I like you. I like you too. You're sweet. Hee hee. I could be your teacher. LOL. Would you flirt with me?" Like, it's not good. This chat's getting pretty bad pretty quick. But, obviously, given the fact that he was a teacher and he had direct access to children this age, well, of like 30 students in a room at a time, this is quite bad. Like, my guy. That's not good, dude. Not like that's a bad thing. Innocent enough. Yeah, it's just a wonk. Not like you'd be trying to seduce me. Decoy says, "Wink, LOL." James says, "I don't think. You don't seem slutty like that." I'm not. Good. Girls at school think I am. They start rumors. Why do they think that? They say 'cause I look like this, I am a slut. Oh, I'm sorry. BRB. Rutherford says, "I was just a nerd at your age. LOL. No one wanted to kiss me when I was your age." Aw, little face emoji thing. Then again, nothing has really changed. Yeah, you have a wife, and you kind of threw it away with your actions online. Like you can't try to aim for pity points when the pity was constructed by you. Like it's you really only have yourself to blame here. I don't know the order of when his wife and him started falling out, but being attracted to children is being attracted to someone other than your wife. So, all right, right now they're talking about hugs, and Rutherford says, "'Cause I'd want to hug back." And then says, "Well, you're kinda hot, and I'd be tempted to not let go if I hugged you." And he knows that's bad. He's like, "That's bad, huh?" Decoy says, "No." Rutherford says, "It's not?" Question mark. You'd like me hugging you, says Rutherford. Hee hee yay. What if I wanted to kiss you? I'd guess I'd kiss you too then. So far, I mean, 7 pages in, and compared to, it's still, a bad chat. Obviously, the intentions are the same, but the vulgarity of this one is much more toned down than a lot of other chats. Like, I gotta say, Rutherford is nowhere near the worst Predator. I wouldn't even put him in like a top 20. Like, yes, he is a teacher, was a teacher, but, it's not aggressive. I can say that. And Rutherford then asks, how can you be bad? Bad is a typo, I'm sure. How can you be bad? He asks for an example. Decoy then says, I got in trouble for making out with this boy. I told you I like to kiss. And then Rutherford says, that's not bad, though. And he says just being generally naughty would be. Okay. And then he says, you don't dress slutty and you're a virgin, which is a good thing. But you're not a bad girl. No comment. No comment. If I speak, I sin. I'd show you my butt. Maybe, lol. For reals? Maybe, if you'd want. Cool. Would you? Haha, okay, maybe you are naughty. Hee hee. I'm not like that too often on here. You must be special. Rutherford then asks, do you use tongue when you kiss? Now he is saying this to a 13-year-old. Like 1 year younger than kind of what he teaches. So not exactly a very good look there, sir. But the decoy says yes, which kind of surprises me. And now Rutherford hits back with, now I want to kiss you. Sorry, I have a mint in my mouth right now. I'm trying to quit vaping. I've just been sucking on mints like they're dicks, dude. It's bad. Hee hee, I'll shut up. Why? Because I don't want to seem like a perv. Well, James, the part of this chat already indicates that you are. And then you later on kind of admit it with Chris. So, I gotta go help my mom. Be back later. Oh, okay. Bye, sexy. Now, I don't remember if that is the first use of like a intimate word. I see like sexy, hun, babe as like words you would use within like a significant other. Like I don't see them as like necessarily naughty words, but I see them as, words that you would use with your significant other. And he's kind of seeing this decoy as like a pseudo significant other in my eyes. So this section of the chat log is kind of long, but I'm just going to give the gist of it real quick. It's the next morning, and James asks if they're talking to anyone, or just like what they're doing. And the decoy says, some crazy guy that wants to come take pics. And James is like, okay. They talk for a little bit more. He's like, did you ignore that guy yet? Decoy says, yeah. And then Rutherford says, cool. Now what if I asked? JK, I wouldn't. And then he also says, I wouldn't like to see more pics, but ones you took. I always kind of hate that LOL JK. I've used it before back when I was like a teenager, throwing my hat in the ring and all that. But, it's, obviously you aren't joking when you say that. This isn't like a verbal conversation where you can like change your tone or like you can actually get a feel for the conversation. Like these are just words on a screen. So LOLJK is a little disingenuous. So I'm down to the 12th page, and a lot of this is just kind of basic, like high school level flirting, if that. I mean, I'm reading it, and it's definitely inappropriate, but it's not vile. I'm not reading anything that instinctually makes me go like ew or anything. Like they're just talking right here. He's talking about the ticklish segment that Chris mentioned in the chat. Uh, he says, "Don't make me tickle you." OMG, I hate to be tickled. Haha, sweet. Where are you most ticklish? All over. Tee hee, I'll get you. Like, that's, it's very, it is inappropriate given the age of the decoy, but it's not vile. Like, I don't see Rutherford as necessarily like dangerous. Like he should not have been a teacher. That was probably the most dangerous thing about him. But I wouldn't say, he posed like significant harm to the child past just the act of we all know what. But I don't think he would hurt the decoy. I don't think he would try to harm the decoy. He wouldn't hold her down. I don't think he would do anything like that. Decoy asks, who you chatting with? Just you. LOL, flirting with me? Maybe. I guess that's maybe. That early 2000s slang spooks me. But he says, sweet, I'm hot. LOL, even without my shirt. Haha, sorry. Seems like I'm half naked a lot. I'll just be shutting up now. He is, to his credit, he is working out at the moment. He's not. I don't think that was any any indication of what he's doing. He mentioned earlier that he's working out right now. So now it's later in the day. He had to go to a track meet, and he says, "How was your day?" Boring, because he couldn't leave. Yeah, and then Rutherford says, "Pokes you." Hee hee, don't tickle me. You would want me to. You know you do. He, I'd hug you and stuff, but no tickling. No fun. You just make me pee my pants. Okay. Tickles you? Oh my god, lol. It's just an excuse to put my hands on you. Winky face. Come on, man. Uh, you can tickle me. You can tickle me NE time then? I don't know what NE means here. But, ooh. And then now it's later. Can I tuck you in? Yeah. Sweet, and give you a good night kiss? They both aren't messaging much, and he says, sorry, I'm kind of bummed. Why? The old lady. She's being mean. Decoy says, sorry. He's like, it's not your fault. I'm just bummed. And it's like, James, you've admitted to speaking with minors before. Do you think that played a part in your wife leaving you? Or asking for a divorce? But they talk about then what their favorite movies are. And why does Shakira have extra hip joints? I have no idea who the fuck Shakira is. But I don't know. It's weird yet hot. She can dance. She's pretty. Very. You're pretty too. And like so far, this is some like just calling the decoy like pretty has been largely like the worst stuff in the chat. Like there's been a couple other points where he's like I'll tickle ya or I'll kiss ya. But like this one line is one of the more significant parts, and you can tell that because the contributor wrote a message for it, which was grooming. And it is, yes. James is still very much in the wrong here, no matter how much I say how tame this chat log is. He is still, this is still a criminal act. This is still wrong. And I'm not defending him, but I am saying he is not the worst. I hope tomorrow's a snow day, going to play in it. Yeah, mom has to work. Cool, I'll be stuck here even if I'm off. My mom has a big truck. I don't. Yeah, I mean, you got a Corvette. I don't know if you have like another vehicle, but the Corvette, I imagine, 500 some odd horsepower, however much the C5 had, rear wheel drive is not very good in the snow. But LOL pokes you in the tummy. And then I gotta go night night. Okay, hun, good night. Like, pokes you in the tummy so far has been like arguably the most sexual thing he said so far. Now, this is again the next day, so we're on the 21st of January, February, March. 21st of March. And he's talking about like how him and his wife aren't getting along, and she just being bitchy. He says, I'm not fond of her either. I still love her, just sick of how she's treated me. And, I understand, women to a point, and sometimes they just kind of bitch. But also, James, your wife might have a rationale for some of her bitching. And you've done this before. But anyways, then he says, I wish you were older, 'cause then I could date you. I don't know why this section is just the contributor, commentary. Oops. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but Decoy sends back a frowny face. And he says, what? You wouldn't? The Decoy then says, I would. I like you. And Decoy then says, you're so cute. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And he said, you're just sweet. I know James admitted to being attracted to, like, younger people during his time with Chris. But I think the thing he really wanted was just affection. Like, I'm not defending him. I'm not doing that at all. But I think the thing that he wanted most in life was just someone else. Like, I keep saying this, but I'm 15 pages in, and the vast majority of their chat has just been pretty normal flirting. Like, obviously the age is completely off, but, he's not, I don't think he's necessarily dangerous. I just think he was lonely. And then says, tickles you, just wanted to touch you. LOL. So this is now the next day. Again, this is now the 23rd. And at 8:40, he messages, hey. Decoy says, hey, cutie. How's it going? Fucking horrible. Found out tonight that I'm getting a divorce. And that he was with this lady for 8 years of his life. So he was 26. They started dating when they were 18. And they were married for 1.5 years. And they separated. I do kind of wonder, like, what was going on. Like, that kind of interests me. 1.5 years of marriage, and it's nothing crazy. So far, he says, I need a hug. I mean a real one. He says, I'll give you one. Smiley face, come here. I wish I could drive. Me too. He then asks, what's on your mind? Decoy says, thinking about you. Then eventually he does get the pictures, and he says, you look a little younger, but totally cute. I think you're cute. And Decoy says, so are you. At least someone thinks so. And then he asks, wanna make out, LOL. JK, there's that JK shit again. Sure, LOL. Hee hee, come here then. Right now, I'd totally do it. I can't drive, silly. I know. I'd come get you, LOL. Really cool. That would be so bad. Like, other than that, like, I mean, the chat continues, so. He says, not really, LOL. Were you hoping? Decoy says, yeah. Were you really hoping? Yeah. How come? I like you. Aw, I like you too. And you're alone, huh? Yeah. They don't leave much. How long are they gone? Tomorrow. So I guess till tomorrow. LOL. It'd be so bad. I'd be all over you. Now this, the contributor didn't even bold this part, but it's like this so far has been the worst part. Is I'd come over, I'd be all over you. Like that right there is the worst singular line that he has said given the previous sentences. And the contributor didn't even like highlight it. This has been a very tame chat log. You know, making out with you would like totally turn me on, right? That'd be bad. Okay. I think it would turn you on too, hee hee. Yeah. Nice, I'll be honest. Thinking about it is kinda doing that, so haha. I don't totally get that. But he says, sorry, I'll behave. You don't have to. Haha, what do you mean? I like you. I like you too. I'm so tempted to come up. I know I shouldn't though. But please, you already being horny when I got there, I'd have to pounce on you. LOL. Sorry. Why are you sorry? 'Cause I said I'm horny. LOL. Don't be. 'Cause I like it that it turned you on. Well, congrats, you did. Decoy then says, you're so cute. It'd be even worse if I was there. Haha, for reals? I'm sure it would. Okay. This chat log has taken a rather aggressive turn, but it still is nowhere near the worst. And I stand by that so far. We could kiss all we want. Where? My house, LOL. Could I kiss you anywhere? JK. I hate that JK stuff. I really do. Like, I know, you say the JK, but you don't actually mean the JK. Alright? I'm afraid your neighbors would wonder why there is a Corvette in your driveway. If it makes you feel any better, I'm like freaking horny right now. Decoy smiles. Smiley face. He says, big time. Hey, would you like to see me? If you park around back, no one will see. Yeah. You're silly, LOL. Why? Why you drive that far and turn around? I'd be afraid we'd get caught. We'd, not him, but the both of them. Even though only for one person it's criminal. I want you really bad right now. You have no idea. Hugs. Little kiss emoticon, whatever. So you make me take my shirt off, huh? Decoy then says, I'd take it off for you. Rutherford then asks, what if I wanted to take yours off? That's okay, you'd let me? Yeah. Smiley face. Decoy then says, I'd wish you'd come see me. I'm really thinking about it. I would get to see you with your shirt off. Would you make me take anything else off? You want me to? It'd be up to you. Yeah. I'd want you to take off everything. Oh, the decoy said that. Oh. The decoy then says, I'd want you to take off everything. And he says, what do you mean? Your clothes, silly. LOL, that'd be bad. Well, once you had me naked, what would you do with me? I don't know. Never been naked with a man before. Would you take anything but your shirt off? Yeah, my bra. Would you let me kiss your boobs? Yes, and your tummy. Yes. Okay, everything I said about him being rather tame has kind of gone out of the window. It has gotten not... It's bad. It is very bad, this chat. But it's, in the terms of the chat logs that we read, it's not bad. It is adult, it is inappropriate, but it's not, like Vincent's chat. It's not, horrible. It's horrible given it's horrible compared to what should have been in the chat log, which is nothing. But compared to other chat logs we get, it's not the worst. I would want to, yeah. I like you. What would you want to do, I mean? Yeah. Yeah, what? Yeah, I'd like to do it with you. You mean have sex? Yeah. Oh. Well, I don't know. I mean, I like you a lot and all. You want to call me? But your first time should be with someone you love. You want me too. Decoy then says, sure. How come, LOL? To talk, silly. And what's your number, hun? I really think that some people on this show only ever got with a child, or attempted to, because that's what was available to them? I don't want to, sound too weird there. But, I mean, he clearly, is fighting with himself on this. And just, honestly, I think wants attention and affection. And, love than a child. He then says, I'm still horny. LOLs, me too. You got horny too? Question mark. Yes, silly. How horny? Smiley face. Wet? Yeah. And lonely. Me too. I want to have fun with you. Is that why you wanted me to call, LOL? I wanted to call to see I'm reals and so we can talk about coming to see me. Well, honestly, hun, if we decided this last night or really early this morning, I'd totally do it. But since it's already 1:30, it'd be like 4:30 before I'd be there. And I'd have to leave like an hour later. So as bad as I want you, that would suck. When are your parents coming home tomorrow? And then they'd talk for a minute longer about what they're wearing. And then it says, here, chat was turned over to Del Harvey on site in Greenville, Ohio, who was temporarily deputized as he had indicated he was about to masturbate. The person he sees on webcam and believes is the underage female he is going to molest is an actress hired by Dateline. Okay, here we go. So, he's obviously on cam right now. Maybe I should put more clothes on too, because the decoy has a hoodie on. He just, doesn't even have a shirt on. And he says, you need a cam, LOL. I was seriously thinking about showing you more before. Haha, really? Before what? When we were talking and I was like ready to go. I was so... Wow, it was bad. Wasn't sure you'd want that. Decoy then says, you're cute. LOL, thanks. You already know I thought that, LOL. Yeah, you're cute too, babes. Guess what I get to do tonight and tomorrow? What? My neighbor asked if I would feed their dog, and I'm getting $20 for walking over there and going inside and feeding a dog. Hey, I mean, respect the hustle. And then says, the decoy then says, you have such a cute smile. And then, hey, 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 hey. No, what? What? My neighbor has like 3 computers. Nice. And James is. Right now, I think the decoy is kind of in charge of the conversation. But this is Dell speaking, so. This is. This is wild. I didn't know that PJ, ran ops like this. But guess what? They left like right when I got there. So I scoped out their stuff and said, I'm going to go play with the dog for a bit. So he's not lonely when you leave. And they were all like, okay. And I found a webcam. It says it's a Logitech something or other. And it has that little flat rectangle plug thingy. So I ran back over. I'm going to try plugging it in. Sweet. So if my computer explodes, you have to send the fire department. So if I'm reading this right, the decoy that was on site, who I believe was Emily, was her name, and she did look quite young. They actually got Emily on cam to speak with James. That's kind of crazy that they went that far. Like, that's some serious effort that they put in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holy crap, I see you. Damn, you're really hot. LOL, thanks. You like my makeup. My eyeliner pencil broke this morning, but I smudged on it, sort of. Want to see me again? Heck yeah, sure thing, hun. And then they're doing some troubleshooting. Wow, you are like beautiful. Hiya hottie, LOL, twin moment. I knew you were cute, but damn. Thank you very much. And I'm not there naked with you now. Why? I'm stupid. LOL, well, you're the one who has to go out tonight. I said maybe tomorrow. Well, maybe you should. And I am single now. Not like I have to check in with anyone anymore. I can come up whenever. So they are right now they're doing a lot of troubleshooting trying to get it to work. But I am amazed that they, got a webcam to, go on a video call with James. I didn't know they did that. And it's quite odd. Like, I it's good they did it, but I think they only did it was because James was so, like, iffy about coming. One, because, like, he was going to go hang out with his friends and all that. But, they really wanted to catch him because he is a teacher and, they have to do the right thing. But I'm so surprised by, like, the hoops they jumped through to convince him to go. I don't think you're ugly at all. You're very, wow, even though you won't show me your tummy. You gotta come here. Decoy then says, did you see me stick my tongue out? LOL, now I'm all blushy. He then says, you are so cute. And the decoy then says, you are Mr. Cutie McHots-a-lot. Alright. Maybe I'll show you my undies if I see your tummy, haha. Stretchy boy. Oh. And no comment, huh? If I show you my stomach, then what do I get? Jameson says, I said you can see my undies. Decoy says, okay, but no taking pictures, because my friend flashed somebody on webcam, and he took a picture, and then he sent it to, like, everyone on her MySpace, and it was horrible. I will stab you through the internet if you do that. I wouldn't do that, baby. I swear to God. Okay, but tummy's all you get, LOL. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to see more. Haha, are you ready? Okay, yes. Holy shit. Okay, one more time just for you. Okay, damn, nice tummy, hun. I wanna lick that. Decoy says, I'm so red. You're hot, and you think I'm cute, and it's pretty much awesome. Holy shit. I know Dan, showed his, like, whole front, like, stomach and chest, like, just upper front, for someone on a webcam. But holy shit. I had no idea they went this far to catch him. Damn, I'm like impressed. So I think they're still on webcam right now. I'm honestly not 100% sure. But the decoy says, I love cargo shorts on guys. They're so hot. Why didn't like 17-year-old, 16-year-old me know that? I know they're just trying to like use that to catch this guy, but like I used to wear the shit out of cargo shorts, dude. I still gonna wanna see you. I don't want you to be all like, oh, she's not real, she just wants cyber or whatever. Still, that's my rule and I'm sticking to it. That's not how it would be, but I understand. I want to see you in person. Because I bet you're even hotter in person. I do too. Nah, but thanks. Okay, I think so. You've just got such great eyes and great mouth and a little dimple in your chin, and you're just hot and so cute. Now keep in mind, the decoy was the one glazing up James right there. You know, the decoy is really buttering up James here. He then says, I was picturing something. You in those, me in my undies, you laying on top of me, kissing me. Hot. Kinda grinding. Thanks. I think you'd like that. Have you looked in the mirror lately? No. Maybe you should. You sure this is a good idea? LOL. Decoy then says, well, I'm not gonna make you, but I think you're hot, and you say you think I'm kinda hot. I'd really like to see you. Like, he's very clearly, like, fighting. Like, he knows it's wrong, he shouldn't do it. I honestly think it's the attention and affection that he's getting that it is kind of driving him to do this. Like, again, I'm not defending him, but this chat log is 35 pages, and largely it is very tame. The worst parts are just how he talks about how he's horny. He doesn't mention penis, vagina, cum, blowjob once at any point in this chat. So he was very clearly wrestling with his emotions. Obviously he mentioned that, and obviously it's, he's being torn between he wants to do it, but he doesn't want to do it, but he wants, the comfort that it would bring him, but he knows the dangers that it poses to the child. I'm like kind of shocked at how tame this chat log was. I just read 35 pages of a chat log from this dude back in 2006. And I'm bored. Like, that's it. It's done. So this is basically about all I have on James. I mean, I'm going to cover a little bit past TCAP, but not a lot is known on him. But he did get remarried a couple of years ago. And the pictures I've been scrolling through on the side. I'm not going to show the faces of his wife or anyone at the wedding, because they aren't involved with this. Yeah, as far as we know, he's never reoffended. And that's obviously, what we want. That's very good. And in 2017, he petitioned to get off of the RSO. And I don't know. none of us know why. Like, we don't know, like, how he did it. It's possible that he took a bunch of, sex offender courses and he went to, like, therapies and such to, no, I don't want to say control his impulses, but to change his mindset. And he's happily married now, as far as we can tell. He has a pretty solid job with in the town. I don't want to say what town. You can find that info there. You can find that info out yourself. It's publicly available. But I don't want to say what town because there's no reason to. You should never reach out. That'd be wrong and illegal. You know, but to his credit, he does appear to have turned his life around. I know many predators or many people just caught on the show in general. They're caught and their lives just go downhill at such an insane rate that James, fully to his credit, turned his life around. But that's all I got for Rutherford. Sorry it took me so long to put this video out. It's over 4 hours of recording that I did. So now I need to edit that down. So it's going to take me about another hour and a half. But maybe a little less, maybe an hour to edit it down. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Skate fast and eat ass, boys. Adults.